Hi, everybody. Happy Monday. Momo is. Are you going to settle, Mo? You going to settle? Kind of. Momo, all we can see is your butt. There's his face. Good, Momo. Momo is. Yeah. Momo is not doing well from the dust from some work we're having done. They leave the place messy every day, eh, Momo? And you need to get shut in the bedroom while we clean it up. Not fun for Momos. No. Yeah. Okay. Tiring work for Momo. So back to the Christmas Carol Patreon jingles. I'm gonna suck out on this one because I haven't had much time to prepare. So it's just, the old standby jingle bells because we gotta, and I gotta balance out my lighting here. There we go. But ready? Here we go. Here we go. Patreon, please support my work because it gets tiring reading comments from jerks. Hey, Patreon, please support my work because it gets tiring reading comments from jerks. Hey, patreon.com/Leanna K. And now I have to wait for my main camera to stop bouncing because I get so excited when I sing songs like that I do this. Like, everything's sort of a earthquake in my world. I kind of get used to it. I don't notice the bouncing because I feel never mind. YouTube's not gonna like this. No, not good for children. Check the box. But I wanted to do a little thing because it's getting to that time. I mean, okay, some people start their holiday shopping in October because they're gluttons for punishment. But sorry if the audio is a little low. I just noticed it here. I'll do my best. But projecting. But around this time, people start going, oh my God, when am I going to get so-and-so for Christmas? And I'm going to say Christmas because let's face it, even though people try to say Christmaka, people say happy holidays, the major gift giving thing this time of year is Christmas. Hanukkah is little gifts. It's like 8 little gifts, kind of like a Christmas stocking stuffers. But, Christmas is the big gifts, the one main gift that people agonize over. So this is a Christmas buying guide. Let's face it. I'm not going to be politically correct in that way because I actually don't think it's respectful. As somebody who isn't Christian, I don't find it respectful to just not face facts. But I've been told I'm hard to buy for. And I'm like, this is crazy. I'm easy to buy for. I like video games. Buy me video games. And then I realized all sort of the fraught with peril. So this less of I am an expert in how to shop. I hate shopping. This is more a conversation starter for me. I'm going to suggest some things. I'm going to say things that I have noticed so that other people can say things they have noticed. And then maybe this will eventually become a conversation starter so other people have ideas of what to suggest or hint at for the people in their lives. Because, people like, you're a gamer, you like video games, but AAA video games are now, at least in Canada, they're like $80. And the sort of standard gift level is 50, right? So I guess used games or, Steam games, those are still options, but I know previous years I've ended up with a lot of duplicates because people got me the same game. They both heard me talking about the game. So unless your social circle is super coordinated, if you're buying a AAA game for someone, you are likely to duplicate because everybody's getting them that game. And I know some families coordinate super hardcore. If so, good for you. There's if people haven't played Death Stranding, that's out. And then Jedi Fallen Order, I hear that's great. I haven't played it, but then there's Outer Worlds. There's plenty to play this holiday, even though it was sort of not the same kind of OMG, all the things holiday for gaming. It's kind of a nice change in some ways. But there's still, 3 or 4 major games. I'm sure I'm forgetting a Call of Duty or a Battlefield or something. I know there's a Destiny DLC, but you can't go out and buy that. That has to be downloaded. DLC is an often overlooked gift suggestion in games, by the way. Sometimes because it makes, because certain platforms make gifting way too hard. It's way easy to gift on Steam. I understand other game portals, other game stores do not make gifting as easy. But DLC it's usually less expensive and it's sort of an overlooked. I know there's a lot of games I really like, but by the time this DLC comes rolling around, I'm on to other things. But if somebody bought me the DLC, I'd probably play it. I'm looking at my own purchasing dollars and going, I'd rather get something new than the DLC, because I'm all for those novel experiences. I know I'm weird that way. I don't like to take one game and stick with it like 2 or 3 games the whole year. I like new. I like to discover. And that's sort of when gifting is hard, that's when we get into gift cards. And I am bad at gift cards. What does this mean? I forget I have them. So I had like an EB Games gift card that somebody gave me years ago. I put it in my wallet so I'd remember it, and then I forgot it anyway. And that thing sat in my wallet for like 4 years before I finally used it. I'm terrible with gift cards. It's just, I don't know why. I have this mental block, but other people love gift cards. Gift cards are one of those things that if somebody really likes them, they're a totally appropriate gift. If people like to just be given money so they can go out and get what they want. There are ways to personalize gift cards though, right? Like make the envelope look cool, like do little art or something like that, or at least print something out and wrap it in it. So it's kind of neat. There are ways of sort of personalizing gift card giving. But that's one option if you don't have, if you're only spending $25, you're only spending $50. It's a nice supplement, but at the same time, then it's kind of like, I can't buy a whole game with this. It's a trade-off, and everybody's different. This is what I've discovered is the difficulty in buying for gamers. We are so specific in our likes that you really have to know the person well to sort of step into this arena in terms of gifting. And that brings us to sort of, the other thing about gift cards is make sure the gift cards are for a service or store that somebody actually frequents. If somebody doesn't frequently buy their games at Walmart, getting them a Walmart gift certificate. Some people don't shop at Walmart for ethical reasons, so be careful for that. Some people don't have an EB Games near them. Make sure if it's PlayStation, it's PlayStation. If it's Xbox, it's Xbox, that kind of thing. Be careful you're buying a gift card for a service that people can use, especially if you're buying across borders. Make sure you buy the gift card in the country that the person resides, because a lot of even apparently certain chains that are in the US and Canada, they don't accept the other country's gift cards, even though the name of the store is the same. It can get messed up that way. So, be careful with anything. And this is why I'm saying this is a discussion starter, not a guide, because, oh my God, there's so many variables, which, us science-minded systemic types, we are okay with variables, but some people is like too much. Just give me instructions. And that's when we get to me, the sort of, this is the one that I am super picky on. Accessories. Gaming accessories. People were getting me like Switch charging docks and all that stuff. And as much as I appreciate the thought, that customization of, like, my husband knows to get me nothing pink. Most of my friends know to get me nothing pink. I remember when we got our Nintendo DSs, they had 2 left in stock. There was a white one and a pink one. And my husband took the pink one because he didn't care. And I was like, no way in hell am I walking around with a pink Nintendo DS. Screw that. I will wear pink clothing, but I will not have pink gaming accessories. Weird, right? I don't know, because pink, despite my sort of aversion to the politics of the color, I look okay in pink. But a gaming accessory, no, black, white, or silver. Those are your options with me. Preferably black or silver. That's why I like my cell phone. That's why I like no, I don't do color in those sorts of things. Because I don't want color popping out everywhere, because I tend to have the toys and everything like that. So I don't want things competing with the toys. But other people, they may love red or blue or pink or whatever. I'm not saying there's personally anything wrong with pink. It's just not me. And so, You really have to make sure they're the right style for the person doing it. But the nice thing about accessories is they can be less expensive. Other things that people may not consider, but it might be worth asking about, are things like additional controllers, cables, stuff like that. That kind of useful stuff. It's one of those things where it's not way up on a gamer's priorities list, but having an extra controller is always good in case, you do that rare co-op session with a game, or one breaks and you have another one. It's amazing how much an extra controller can come in handy, or an extra charge cable for that controller for the PlayStation. Those things are worth their weight in gold. Now, it might not be sentimental enough to wrap up a USB-C cable for someone, or sorry, it's a mini USB. It's a USB-C for the Switch. It's a mini micro USB for the PlayStation 4. But those things can really come in handy. But I want to get into some other maybe off the beaten path ideas. And again, these aren't for everybody. It's just a suggestion. Storage solutions. There are these very cool console game and accessory storage units. They vary in price. I've seen them start at like $50 at like a Walmart. That's Canadian, so I don't know what it costs in the US, but they can be like around $90, around $120. I know that's getting steep, so just, maybe it's a group gift. But storage solutions are really useful, stuff that are purpose built for games and have shelves for like additional controllers and stuff like that, as opposed to bookshelves. Those can be really, really useful, especially since, I don't know about you guys, but when a new gaming system comes in, if it's not back compatible, everything else goes in a box and the new stuff goes in, because I have limited space and function is very important. Another thing that a lot of people don't consider, and again, this can be more expensive unless you happen to catch a sale, but a really, really good battery backup system. One of those, I think I've got like a 1500. I've got a 1500. It's a CyberPower 1500. Viewers of this channel recommended this to me. I have two of them to power all my consoles and all my monitors and my PC, and my printer is just hooked up to the surge protection, not the battery backup. But and then in the case of a blackout, worst comes to worst, I can run a light off of it or a small heater. And my God, is it useful. I want another one. I bought one, like, once I discovered this unit, I was like, oh my God, it's everywhere. Like, I buy a new one once a year and I just put it somewhere. Because let's face it, blackouts and brownouts are far more common, and it's just so handy to have that. I mean, these things run my system for about 45 minutes. It will run lights or power or charge a phone, or I haven't tried it on a little space heater yet. I'm sure that's coming. But it'll run lights or an iPad. It'll charge an iPad for like 3 hours, which is usually how long blackouts last here. So it's great. Like, we're not sitting in the dark, and we're not using candles, which can be a bit dangerous. So that and I have not had, knock wood, I have not had problems with surges or like fried power supplies or anything like that since I went to these systems. Before that, it was this ongoing thing. The thing would just get fried. They're really, really good units. I think they're about $120 if I could catch them on a sale. But they're great. And people may have less good surge protectors, or like the really small one that they know isn't like, they have a surge protector, not a battery backup. And those don't work anywhere near as well. You need that power conditioning. And some people will be like, oh, I'll just buy the cheapest thing. It won't run anything for very long, but it'll give me that 10 minutes to shut down. A really, really good battery backup system, worth its weight in gold. Like, those things are super appreciated. The thing is, they're super heavy. I'll warn you. I'm saying super a lot, but there you go. With toys, I love my toys, but this is another thing. It really has to be to their taste. I know that um, most people now, because there's almost this glut of ancillary merchandise, they're really picky. Every hardcore fan I know is picky. Some things they really like, some things they don't like at all. Some people love those pop figurines. You'll notice I don't have very many of them. Um, and because accessories like the toys and stuff like that run the gamut from like little pieces of plastic art that are super sculpted and they're more like statues than toys. Some people prefer those. Some people love the little super kawaii versions. People like my husband love the weird stuff. So like Mexican knockoffs and like really odd. When I was in Seattle, I got him a Superman and Lex Luthor set of salt and pepper shakers. He likes that kind of stuff, the off the beaten path stuff. So again, this is one of these personal things that it can be really, really great, or you'll get the, oh, thanks. Like they're trying really hard, and gamers tend to be introverts. We're not the best actors, so it's hard for us to feign enthusiasm. But sometimes the best thing to do is get a lot of small things. So they'll find the one thing they really, really like and get super excited about that, and then you've won. Like they won't even remember the other stuff they really didn't like. It was that one little cool thing you got them that they really liked. But the thing I want to suggest, and again, this is not for everybody, and I'll tell you why after I tell you, but gift certificates for massages. I have been really skimping on things like that, on physical therapy stuff, because by the time I've spent everything else that month, I've spent the money on it, there's nothing left. And I need to buy games for, and you'll see me constantly digging at my forearms and my hands. Because when you're doing like 3-hour gaming sessions on Twitch twice a week, and then you're doing all this computer work and stuff, finding a massage therapist that is an expert in hands and forearms, they're out there. But shoulders as well, even people don't tend to sit properly when they game, and so they get really stiff. Massage therapy gift certificates, people will love you. Now, some people do not like to be touched for various reasons. They could be phobic, they could be on the autism spectrum and just not like being touched. If that describes the gamer in your life, do not get them a massage gift certificate. They'll have to just give it away because they don't like being touched. But most people, like, I shouldn't say most people, neurotypical people who don't have those issues, massage gift certificates, they feel luxurious. And it's this luxury is best when you don't have to pay for it. Trust me, it just feels better somehow. Because when you're paying for it, there's kind of this guilt associated with the luxury. But when somebody else is paying for it, it's like, all I do is win, 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 right? Like, it just feels better. I don't know why. Maybe because it's not my money. But that's another thing to think about, I find. Gamers like stuff other than gaming. So anything you give them that supplements something else, movie gift certificates, those are great gifts because pretty much everybody goes to the movies, except I know one person who's too far away from a movie theater. They don't go to movies very often, but like pay for their Netflix subscription, pay for a Disney Plus subscription, because that's another thing that I will not pay for yet for one show. Actually, more like one character. I will look at the Baby Yoda memes and wait until like WandaVision and a few other shows are out before I take the Disney Plus plunge. But anything like that allows them to do something else means more money for gaming. So keep in mind, gamers gotta eat. So if they like to cook, food box things, those are around the $50 range for like a gifted subscription. Just be careful you're not signing them up permanently. It's one thing. Or, a gift certificate for a night out at a restaurant. Make sure they like the restaurant, obviously. But anything that frees up more money for gaming is actually really, really useful. And believe it or not, the thing a lot of gamers really like who have pets is stuff for their pets. So gift baskets for their pets. A lot of people, this sounds crazy, but it's just the way pet parent brains work. That if they have somebody to play with their animals, oh, they'll love you for it. I know I've done things where I got the person a gift and then I got their animal a gift and all they talked about was the gift for their animal. I'm sure they appreciated the human gift, but no one had given their pet a gift. And so it was novel. And so like, oh God, that was so cool. So that's sort of the, that's an easy out that doesn't cost a lot of money too. Just be very careful. Pets have allergies and stuff like that too, so be aware. Like poor Momo, right? Momo, he's sleeping. And if anybody's at that point, what do I get my kid? The best expert on that is your kid. Kids are not all created equal. And there are a lot of like good all ages games out there right now. But it really depends on your kid. Is your kid shy and uses gaming to get away from other people? Or does your kid use gaming as a social experience? Does your kid like, little like ongoing a like the novelty factor? Do they like to play a bunch of different games a year like I do? Or are they more about something like, Minecraft's a bit dated, but Fortnite or something like that where they can just play and play and play and play and play forever? It depends on your kid. The nice thing now is that there's more and more games that they may have adult themes in the storytelling in terms of why do I care about this, but there's more and more stuff that is content appropriate for all ages. And I'm very glad for that. Even though I like my violent video games, I like my, sexually suggestive video games, I also like the fact that there are other things. There are sort of like nicer, simpler things. I still recommend Rabbids Cross Mario Kingdom Battle or Mario Cross Rabbids Kingdom Battle. It's silly, it's fun, and it's funny, and it teaches kids like the basics of turn-based strategy, which, I'm personally a big fan of. I'd like to see turn-based strategies kind of come back as a genre. But there's a lot of good games on the Switch that are really all ages appropriate and quality games, right? Like quality games. They're not that kiddie junk that I had to deal with, when I was growing up, when there was just all this shovelware for, I'm really dating myself here, but the Atari and the original Nintendo and Sega, and there wasn't as much junk on Sega. I'm not sure why. I think maybe because it just wasn't the dominant console. There were a lot of really quality games on that system that never got their due. Their Light Zapper games were way better than Duck Hunt, but I digress. The other thing you can do for people who like gaming, get them a card, or like treat them to a night out at like a Dave and Buster's, or like down here we have a place called the Rec Room. Those sort of video game adult Chuck E. Cheese's. Because Chuck E. Cheese isn't Chuck E. Cheese anymore. They don't have video games anymore. It's all these weird like penny carnival games. But those are a lot of fun. And I have a lot of fond memories of the time I spend with people there because of the social contact. The games are almost sort of irrelevant. It's using games to be with friends. So that's another suggestion that, I did one of those VR things with a buddy of mine on his birthday this past year, and I never would have done it myself. I would have been like, that's a waste of money. But with my friend on his birthday, and he wanted to do it, and it was a really great memory, mostly because we were both nerds, so we went around looking for bugs and checking the tracking and all that stuff. We still enjoyed it, but we enjoyed it in our kind of awesome, very geeky kind of way. And it's a good memory. And I think that more and more for a lot of people, the thing that endures when they think about what the best gifts are is the memory associated with those gifts. So even if you don't have a ton of money, you can still be a good friend to somebody. Another relatively inexpensive thing is a board game that you really like that you can teach another person. Buy them the board game and show them how to play it. Because board games more and more are like super complicated, and then they can take the game and teach someone else to play it. I have like board game anxiety. I like playing board games as long as somebody can show me how to play it. I don't want to have to like fumble through it. And I think like Betrayal at Baldur's Gate was the one that I'm like, just too complicated. I love playing that game when someone else is running it. I will not too many little cat toys. Like Zelda would just get in that game and go wreck it all. She would be the monster to fight. But a game like Ticket to Ride or something like that. Ticket to Ride, somebody taught me how to play it. I love that game because it's such a simple concept, but it's so strategic. A lot of fun. And then again, you have a shared activity you can play with other people. And there are games I've played at like those little board game cafes. I don't even remember what they were called. I just remember the experience of playing with other people, which, you know, they were supportive and fun and not those "you suck, why do you suck so much" types. I think if I'd had less of that growing up, I'd have less board game anxiety. But I had board game anxiety. My family was a bunch of like really not nice sharks at Monopoly, Sorry, and even the Game of Life. So those three games, I'm just like, instant anxiety when I think about, but I loved as a kid playing against the computer in Monopoly because I could learn the game and not have anybody making fun of me and trash talking me while I was trying to learn how to build houses and stuff like that as like an 8-year-old. Enough about me. Okay. Thanks for watching. Hope this was helpful. Interested to see the discussion this sparks off. Feel free, please. I encourage you to offer your own suggestions or what you might like, because other people might read them. Yes, people read the comments here and go, "Hey, that's a good idea. That's something I'd be interested. That might be really good for my friend." This sort of thing is really invaluable for people with friends who are gamers, because there are as many different types of gamers as there are types of people, because gamers are people. Okay. Patreon, please support my work. Hey, patreon.com/Leanna K. Thanks for watching, everybody.